Hey, what's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies, possibly with a Z in the name. Not today, though. Welcome. Last episode was the fan vote episode, and we were joined by Andrew Michael to talk about Saban's Power Rangers from 2017. So if that interests you, make sure you go check out that episode. We really enjoyed talking with Andrew about Power Rangers and the like. So, without further ado, let me just say, if you have any film recommendations, to make sure you throw them our way. You can either comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks, or you can email us at ff.filmfreakswithaz@gmail.com. Okay, without further ado now, let's introduce ourselves. I am Yemmy the Ferret, a.k.a. Yemmy. Who am I here with?
Hello, it is me, Grady Waffle.
And Tay Nation.
And Kogo Gamer.
And we collectively make up the group known as NSYNC. Bye, bye, bye.
No, you're confused, Yemmy. It's Film Freaks. I know it rhymes.
Oh.
We're even more edgy.
Yeah.
NSYNC.
Would edgy NSYNC would be Z-Sync?
Z-Sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we're Z-Sync. Should we start our tour? We should go on tour.
Yep.
Should we rename the podcast?
We go on tour of two houses. We haven't gone to states yet.
Our tour will be Coco's basement, Greedy's porch, Tay Mason's living room, and my spiral staircase. There we go.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm excited to play the
Some
Spiral
parents'
Staircase.
basement.
How are we doing today, guys?
Doing good. You know, it's a new week. New week on the horizon.
Doing
Yes.
good.
Well, I hope you guys aren't dreading this review.
Ugh.
Mm.
Coco, give us your line.
What wine?
It's
I
a
don't
one.
have one.
It's a 1.5.
No, I'm not saying.
Waiting for it.
You gotta
That's
save
a-
it till the end.
That's a spoiler. Yeah, come
that's
on.
how
My
that's how
joke.
we
My
close
joke
the
was a
show.
1.5 out of 5.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Man, if I had to explain the joke,
I
it's even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it was a 1.5 out of 5, though.
There it is. Okay. Anyways, today we're talking about a movie that I recommended last episode called Dredd from 2012, which was directed by Pete Travis. Some of the cast members include, of course, Carl Urban, Olivia Thirlby, Lena Headey, Wood Harris, Langley Kirkwood, Junior Singo, Luke Tyler, and Jason Koop, to name a few. The synopsis is, in the future, America is a dystopian wasteland. The latest scourge is Mama, a prostitute turned drug pusher with a dangerous new drug that aims to take over the city. The only possibility of stopping her is an elite group of urban police called Judges, who combined the duties of judge, jury, and executioner, and not reading, to deliver a brutal brand of swift justice. But even the top-ranking judge, Dredd, discovers that taking down Mama isn't as easy as it seems with this explosive adaptation of the hugely popular comic book series. And obviously the place I want to start this off with is the fantastic slow-motion segments in this movie. They are orgasmic.
Oh my god.
Just
Go ahead.
just the how like the body's reacting to like the bullets, the colors, and how the perspective changes, and then how you go from slow mo to what's happening in real time. This looks so good. The slow mo stuff looks so good. It's almost like they hit them with like rubber bullets or something like that, just to get the rippling effect to look perfect on the bodies. But what did you guys think of these slow mo orgasms?
Yeah, I guess I'll talk. I thought they were exactly what you said. They were really, really well shot. I love that, like when you're Dredd busted in the door and they were taking a drug. I love how the bullets actually slow down so we can see it go in and out of their body, still using slow mo and yeah, all the colors. It shows like completely good. It's very good. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't have too much to say about it, but it was such all amazing shots.
I mean, this movie was visually appealing, and I really did get enjoyment out of some of the slow mo scenes and some of the splatter that happened on the scene, like the guy getting ran over in the beginning. That was unexpected. I was like, oh god. I was like, and then you see it all over the windshield. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But then later on in the movie, I was like, oh, another slow action scene. I was like, okay, we could speed this up a little bit. But yes, I mean, the visuals, they were great. The CGI, awesome. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm a little more with Nick. At first, I was just like, okay, this just kind of seems to be glorifying the violence, which, okay. But yeah, it's just like, for me, I don't know. I don't personally need to see a bullet go through a person in slow motion.
I mean, 8 times, like,
yeah.
I mean, once is cool,
over.
twice is okay, third time you're like, okay, you're playing with yourself now, like, it's
I really
like,
enjoyed that. I like to see where the actual bullets were going too. So it's because most of the time you don't know where the bullets are heading.
Well, I mean, it was. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure there was only 3-4 scenes with the slow mo drug used where it slowed it down. So and 2 of the 3 or 2 of the 4 were just people falling. So I don't know where you guys are coming from with the too much slow mo in the movie. There's only 4 scenes.
That could have been a factor too, where I was just like, I just saw on top of with my eyes, I was just like, oh, another slow mo scene, and then I was just like, oh boy, here we go. And it could have been, the scene where, in the beginning where Mama throws off, the guy, and he's, drugged up and he's falling. And I was just like, oh, another slow-mo scene. Here we go. But
and then it wasn't too long of a slow-mo scene because it sped it up a little after and for him to get that surprise effect to the crowd. I'm not sure how they would be kind of surprised. I mean, you're living with a freaking gang leader in there.
I think it's mostly surprised that they got their skin cut off before it happened. So
that was something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the use of the slow mo was actually really well done in this one, especially because like the first slow mo scene, like the guys get out of that high from the drug really fast because they're like, we're getting shot at by judges, and the guy uses he shoots out of the window. Then the second slow mo scene, which is the one where the 3 dudes are being dropped out after being skinned, kind of shows exactly a full length experience of the drug, and then it shows real time them splattering on the ground. The third time is probably the best use of it because it's showing.
Yes, the water is slowly falling down.
Well, it's showing the guys doing the drugs inside the room, and then the Judge Dredd breaks in, and you can see the bullets hitting the bodies and the effects happening, and you can see like exit wounds that work exactly like real bullets, where it's like a small hole and then it explodes out of their cheek. And then the fourth time was of course the end when Mama is dropped off, kind of like how she executed the 3 random dudes. And I thought that was a nice little it was a nice little comparison there to just show that like even though she's the queen of the castle, she falls just as fast as the 3 lower dudes who fucked up.
So I guess since we're past that, so we're kind of late in the film, but not too much for you. What are you guys' thoughts on the guy that was running the medical center? Because I was kind of confused on why he was there at all. I mean, he did that's not what happened and gets shot because everyone knew they were not part of the same team. Part of the same team. But what was the point of having him here?
Well, he ran that medical center, so he was like the doctor for the. I don't know if it was for the entire building.
Yeah, there's a neutral zone, so I guess it's for gangs or judges too, I guess.
Well, I guess the neutral zone quotation is he won't let the good guys in and he won't let the bad guys in. But he has a change of heart after Judge Dredd does his little monologue over the speakers, and that's why he comes out to greet the new set of judges who come in, and of course, those judges are paid off.
Yeah. So,
I mean, part of it is, he was trying to stay neutral, because when they're open, he helps gang people and he helps judges. He helps everyone. That's what the medical people do. But second, it was locked down. He's just like, nope. Yep, no, I'm not helping you. I'm not helping anybody until this is all over. But by the time I think the other judges, the fake judges came in, he kind of saw it as, things are opening up again. I can get involved. And obviously he was going to help Dredd because little speech. And he's like, I know what happened.
Mm-hmm. True.
And that's why they shot him, because you could
willing
actually
to testify.
Yeah, you're willing to testify and break this whole story. Well, we can't have that.
Yeah.
So, future dystopian, as they kind of explained quickly in the beginning of the movie, is pretty much just like Maine all the way to I want to say New Jersey and a little bit into Pennsylvania is all land that can be livable. It's livable space. What do you guys think that the rest of the world is like, and what do you guys think happened to make the entire planet?
We kind of lost what you were going to say.
What?
What's going on?
Did I cut out?
Yeah.
Cut out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying, where'd you guys last year?
When that can be.
Okay. So Maine to New Jersey to Pennsylvania is land that can be livable. What do you guys think happened to the rest of the world, essentially? It seemed like maybe it was a solar flare type thing since everything turned to desert, but they don't explicitly say in the movie.
Maybe a nuke or solar flare type thing, because that's what it's one of the same thing. That's what I'm guessing. Either that some war happened, but who knows?
I feel like it has to be something that's world changing though. If that's the last habitable place. Maybe not in the world, but at least in North America.
True.
I don't know. Watching this, they're trying to describe, it's so dystopian. I'm like, I don't know. Kind of looks just like normal.
Yeah.
Now you have these tall,
it's like a huge desert.
There's these tall buildings now in the cities, but doesn't seem to have changed much. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Did they show the desert stuff at all? I didn't see any desert.
Well, when it was in the intro.
Yeah.
They do a pan from desert to the big wall that separates the desert from the city.
Oh,
and the city.
yeah. Okay, I guess I could see that. I wasn't.
And he also has briefly moments in the mutants. I'm not sure they all kind of be wiped out or something, because I didn't think because when he mentioned mutant, it seemed like it was kind of rare. So maybe that's where something had to do with it before too.
Yeah, maybe radiation from nuclear fallout or solar flare.
Yeah,
possibly.
Something like that. Creating mutants or wipe most of the mutants out before.
Well, I think it's creating mutants, not wiping them out.
Yeah. Let's go speed ahead a little. You know what? When he and Dredd was running out of ammo. So, he has high X basically. Why didn't he pick up the guy's guns?
I wondered that too.
But it's part of the comic book.
Maybe all the guns are have identity stuff on it.
But it's any judge, I think.
Maybe there's a law against using civilians' guns or something. I know they're not civilians, but other people's guns. I don't know.
The judges, he wouldn't take the judge's gun because he knows the judge's guns are all linked to them personally. Just when the one guy who doesn't know about judge guns tries to use it, it blows his arm off.
I thought it was just because he wasn't a judge.
No, it was because he wasn't a judge.
Yeah, they specifically mentioned at the beginning of the movie that the gun is coded to your DNA and actually shows on the screen the person's name when he holds. So it says Judge Dredd on the gun. which
Oh,
is
yeah,
cool.
that's yeah, it is cool.
I like like all the different functions that they put into the gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that like he started off using it semi-automatic, like it would do like a 3-round burst, and then he changed it to or actually that would be automatic, and then he changed it to semi-automatic. I feel like you just kind of keep it on semi the entire time, because even when he was facing down like all those guys in front of the med clinic the first time, I think he had already changed to single shot. So it's like, why even go in there with burst fire anyways?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think some of the execution, I would say executions using Mortal Kombat language, were really cool with like the high X shot and stuff like that, just shooting it like
Hot
into
shot.
the guy's mouth and
Yeah.
that
was a really nice, really cool looking shot.
there was like a white phosphorus moment when he at the phone booth too, which reminded me of that game Spec Ops: The Line. I was like, uh-oh. But it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. We're like, oh, found him, shot through times. Like, I'm like, I don't think he's in there. He was like, why would he pick a very obvious spot to be in? He was like, yeah, we got him. Open door. I was like, wait, that's not him. She's like, of course it's not.
Yeah, I don't see why they would have thought that it was him anyways.
Yeah. I mean, they knew he was in there at one time when he made the announcement, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Especially like, oh, we shot him, it's still standing. My immediate thought would be like, oh, it's a dummy or something
Yeah.
that won't fall. It's clearly not him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on.
Yeah, sorry. So I wanted to also talk about the psychic powers. I really enjoyed the psychic scene they did with him and the roommate. Well, I'm not just saying like because of that rape scene or anything like that. That's not. I'm just saying like I love the way that they incorporated the scene because he tried to take over and like it. Say like she's a psychic that's been using her powers for a long time. You're not taking over.
Yeah, it was interesting visually, and it's funny that I love the line that Judge Dredd says at the beginning when she's not wearing a helmet. He's like, "Why aren't you wearing a helmet?" She's like, "Well, it interferes with my psychic abilities." And he's like, "Yeah, a bullet will too." And it's just like it's perfect because it's like you can always take off the helmet, obviously. Like you don't have to have it on 24/7. You know,
Well,
when
she
you need
uses
to use...
her powers a lot.
I mean, she did, but like, how much would it really interfere? Like, what's that thing lined with?
Also,
I think they should have.
they have lead.
Well, they could have like incorporated a scene early on with, like in that scene where she's in the room and the chief of the judges or whatever she is talking about her. Like they could have had a helmet on her and she was having trouble, doing her psychic stuff, which would have
didn't really explain that.
would have made it a little bit more clear why she can't use the helmet, because really it just sounds like, oh, it'll mess up my hair.
She also she said like inferior abilities, but she was able to read Judge Query, and he had a helmet on.
That is true.
Some surprised. That's one plot hole, I should say.
So it doesn't block. If you're wearing a helmet, it doesn't block your thoughts. But if she's wearing a helmet, it blocks all the thoughts.
Maybe. But I don't know. They could have incorporated a scene where she had a helmet on, like they found out a weakness or something. They put a helmet on her.
Yeah. I did like the scene where the one judge who was paid off, the evil judge, was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to pretend I'm part of their team." And then when she lowers her gun, I'm going to kill her. She's like, "It's going to be so great." And then she's like, "No," and just shoots her. It was great.
Yeah.
It's like, stand down, Wookie. He's like, wait a minute. Also, like, weren't they known that she's a psychic, or is are they not? Or is Dredd the only one briefed about her?
I'm pretty sure he was the only one briefed, because she's a rookie and all that.
True.
Plus, I don't think they were part of the actual judge force. Like, I feel like they were like a splinter force, like mercenaries, but used to be judges, but aren't anymore. So they wouldn't be in the know on any of the judges' stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I felt. I didn't really.
I mean, I
delve
gathered
into it.
I gather that they were just paid off, like millions of credits, because they walk up to the two judges who are standing there, and they're like, "Yep, you're relieved." So I'm pretty sure, and plus Judge Dredd knew the one guy who he mega throat punched. So
Yeah.
obviously they've had some history, which I would have liked to see. Like maybe instead of it being a car chase at the beginning, there could have been like him and that rival judge were butting heads about something, and that would have maybe set up the ending a little bit better. But I mean,
Don't worry,
damn was
Cowboys,
that throat punch was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Man, but he was. I thought the scene was real nicely done. 'Cause I don't think there was rivalry, but he says like called in. It's like Cavalry's here, but he's like, "There's only." But you said there was only one call. There were two. It's like there were two calls for Cavalry.
Using those detective skills.
Yeah. I like he sort of choke on this and then chokes on something himself.
Yeah, I do feel like some of the one-liners were a bit cheesy. Like he says "judgment time" over the announcements, and that's just callbacks to the comic book, the comic books. I don't think they work in a modern setting though.
Yeah, I agree.
They just sound goofy, especially with how serious this one is.
That was the humor when this movie came out. Like, it came out in 2012, right? And
the year of the Mayan calendar ending.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, look at the rest of the movies that came out that year. No, 2012. No, the movie. Take that for example. Take all those
The whole movie's a
one-liners
joke.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, just how that style genre was at that time of the movie. So I mean, I'm not gonna knock it for that because it was just the style of the movie, and that's what got people's
That's what was
attention.
around that time.
Yeah, that was around, and that's what got the people's attention.
Well, you can do it well, like a few Marvel movies, or you can kind of be. It can be a bust, like some of the DC movies that I've seen, and I think this one was kind of a bust with the one-liners. And I can't give it a pass because it's 2012 and it's the year of funny Marvel movies. I think that when it comes down to it, like the movie is has a way different tone than slapstick funny. Well, I wouldn't say Thor 2 is funny, but a slapstick more like Marvel movie. And I think that they could have
DC movie actually.
They could have. Thor is not a Marvel movie, but
no, not Thor. Dredd. Dredd's been licensed to DC. When he did the first movie.
Right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think that with the different tone that this movie's going for, if it was a more goofy tone and there wasn't like the blood effects were more cartoony and the death animations were more spastic and stuff like that, I think that it would have worked a lot better. But I think with the way that this movie is trying to show itself and trying to present itself, I think that the one-liners stick out like a sore thumb, and they didn't make me laugh. They just kind of made me kind of go,
Yeah.
I mean, 2012, that movie,
I mean, 2012 is garbage, but I mean, it's a completely different genre than Dredd. Dredd is a superhero movie, and it's more gritty, whereas 2012 is just like, we made this movie to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
So have fun with it, guys. The world's ending anyways, right? No one will remember this. Well.
Now it's in the comedy section. Can we talk about I think the main portion of this movie where Mama brings out the machine guns? Can we talk about that scene? I think that was a huge, I think they focused way too much time on it. I don't want to say they focused too much time on it, but I feel like they put a lot of money and effort into that.
Yeah, they put a lot of
makes
money
sense
into that shot.
Compared to the other scenes.
I get, yeah. Well, it's a huge shot. 3 machine guns chained at chained at Dredd, and then right before she said, "Well, we want to do this. I didn't want to do this messy," which makes sense. I get. So she got 3 machine guns, and after you use special effects on every machine gun and try to get the machine guns right, aim. So there was a lot of money. That scene was probably very expensive, but I really enjoyed that scene though. Good.
It's kind of a confusing scene at how it's set up because Judge is in front. Well, he's like in an alleyway and he can see the machine guns and everyone's running past him, and he seems to be running in zigzag formations, left, right, up, down, and the machine guns just follow him. It's kind of
the route he took compared to machine gun route does not match up.
Like,
Oh, that's
I
true.
understand the bullets are going through the buildings, but he's like running. It seems like he's running for miles. You know?
Yeah, exactly. He's running like pretty fast, but the machine guns were not. And the machine guns looked like they were staying in one place the entire time.
Well, they were, and it's weird that like, because it seems like he like went around corners and stuff like that. You would think he would be far enough away that, or at least around the corner of the building. It's just it's weird how they set that scene up.
It seems like he ran around the level twice before like they jumped out into the skate park.
Yeah.
And it just seemed, and that's, I know it's not a slow-mo scene, but that's like one of the scenes where I'm coming from, where I'm like, it just seems some scenes were a little longer than he needed to be.
Yeah, when I say slow-mo scenes, I'm talking about the drug.
Yeah, I know
when you're saying slow-mo, you're talking about like the scenes, the action slowing down, but it's still an action scene. I understand now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
I just want to know, how did they know the skate park was there? Because they were on like the 70th floor or something. They're like, oh, we'll just go out that way. I'm like,
where do you see a hole?
That's literally where I was gonna go next.
Yeah. I don't think they knew a skate park was there. I think it was just see a hole. So it's like, hey, do you get shredded by bullets or jump out, and hopefully it's a place to stay, a place to fall. Also,
yeah, maybe.
I would jump out because it probably at least be a better chance of surviving.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, either way, you're dead.
Either way, if you jump out that and there's no skate park, you're dead. And if you stay in that area, the Gatling guns will tear you to pieces. So
true.
It's like, I mean, how many of the other buildings did we see on the outside? I mean, even in this one, you can tell. Like, I guess maybe it's
foreshadowed in beginning shot. Like,
we're on the 70th floor, and everyone knows every 70th floor of every building has a skate park out there.
But going based off of that, they could have jumped out of the wall at any point. I mean, why would Dredd run 2 miles before saying, oh, let's jump out of this wall?
Well, I don't think they knew it before.
Didn't he shoot the wall too with the high X or
it got shot by a minigun, which showed a light, then it shot with the high X.
Yeah, because in order every building or all the walls had the little blast doors over them.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he saw light, he's like, oh, okay, so maybe the blast door for some reason isn't covering here, which means there's something out there.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
true. That's got a point. Yeah.
They didn't do a good job
I think
of
it did
relaying
cover that.
information
Actually,
to
it
us.
did. Yeah, it did cover that area, so I'm not sure why the blast doors was damaged during that.
Well, there were like it would cover the windows, and then there were like large pieces of concrete that were in between the windows. So like, it does seem kind of weird that he can blast through like solid concrete easier than a window, but
true.
They need to have a
comic book movie, so
they need to have a way out,
Yeah.
But I don't think that because going off of what we saw from the other buildings, I don't think that every building has a skate park on the same floor, though. But he might have seen the skate park in the schematics for the building when they originally went into it.
Oh, that's
and
true.
And that, he remembered that, and maybe he just knew which direction he was facing. It was like, yep, it's there.
Yeah, that could be an option.
But there was no cheesy line like "trust me" before he jumped out. He just did it.
Which I can't. I'm glad it didn't do that and just basically just like silent the entire time. But again, they probably couldn't hear him over the bullets anyway.
Probably.
Oh, if you guys don't mind me talking about the ending.
No, yeah, we can move on.
Like when she says like, "Oh, there's explosives tied to my place," like you shot the place with machine guns. I don't think there's explosives anywhere around here.
Well, don't forget that was on like the 70th floor, and they were on like the 100th floor or whatever.
Yeah.
So the explosives weren't on every floor. They were just. She was saying that the explosives are on that same floor or a floor below, and that
big enough to take out like 40 floors.
Yeah.
Still, but there's still. It's kind of like an easy bluff though, because like.
Well, she wasn't bluffing. It's just the fact that when Dredd threw her off the top of the building, the signal died out before she died.
Okay, see.
It was a bluff.
Yeah, that's.
I was wondering, like, because I thought it was a bluff, and I was like, what gave him, like, what tipped him off that it was a bluff? I
Well,
didn't
it's
realize
Dredd.
it
He's
was,
been doing this for a long time. So wouldn't you know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he know if someone was puffing?
Well, before he throws her off, he's like, yeah, how far is that signal reach? And then he threw her off the building.
okay.
And
True.
I'm pretty sure it's because they kind of foreshadowed that early on with the communications not working. They had to go up higher to get the communication working. But that still doesn't explain why when it didn't sense or it didn't see a heartbeat or anything coming from the device that the explosives wouldn't have exploded anyways.
Yeah.
Well, like it went like red, so I'm guessing a signal did go through and nothing happened because
Well,
you said thoughts.
I mean, it turned red because she died, and it probably would have sent the kill signal then. But it doesn't make sense that even if she didn't die, but it just got out of range, and
That's the same thing.
you unplug a heartbeat monitor from someone, and it'll the flatline signal will go no matter what. It's not like it's not like it ran out of batteries and the signal's gone. Can't blow up now.
No, it's not receiving. It's not receiving the heartbeat signal once she gets out of range, so it would blow.
Yeah, I mean it should have. Which I mean,
Yeah, it
maybe it was in the end a bluff, but it wasn't set up like that to me. And I think it was just like, oh, well,
Someone doesn't understand how things work. The writer doesn't understand how electronics work.
But still, that ending was a pretty good scene now.
Yeah, it was because her falling just it showed the entire journey of the judges going up to get her. You saw the exploded area with the machine guns and stuff like that, and I think it was a good and here's the conclusion, just the way that the movie started. It starts with a big fall, and I like that symbolism.
Yeah, I agree.
Did anyone else notice that when she hit the ground, the blood made the Dredd or the judge X red X on their helmet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about the assistant that Dredd had. I feel like, yeah, they did show her powers here and there, but I still feel like she could have used it more in the movie, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I was wondering why she wasn't using it when he was in the room with the guy.
I mean, yeah, she was able to identify the guy who skinned the civilians and who threw him off. They threw him off, but it just feels like after that there was they tried to push off to the side that she had that power. I feel like
Was she too powerful for the movie and he had enough? Because that's probably what they're trying to, probably what they were doing. Her psychic powers were too powerful for the.
Yeah, they do that a lot in movies where it's they look at this cool power that's going to be used once because otherwise the whole movie would be solved in 2 minutes.
I mean, that's true as well.
I think because I think before they said one of the most powerful psychics he ever seen. So they probably saying power does a lot more than that. So we can't have her do too much.
I mean, most powerful psychics I've ever seen, but we don't see another psychic in this. So
True, yeah,
I mean,
point.
other psychics could have been just people going, closing their eyes and being like, "Oh, you had a burger for lunch," and they're like, "Wow, that's amazing." I think what they mean by most powerful psychic they've ever seen is she's the best one. Her powers are the most consistent. But I don't think that she's so overpowered that she can just use them willy-nilly whenever she wants to. I think it's one of those things that she has to really focus.
Just gonna be turned on because you see that she didn't use her psychic abilities when she was taken captive.
I mean, what would her psychic abilities even do at that point? Because it's not like she could manipulate people and make them do things.
But she can get inside their head.
Yeah, but there's 5 guys around her, so what are you gonna do?
But when she was in the elevator, she could have done that. An elevator when the guy had a gun to her head, because I don't think he'll have enough physical power to actually do it to stop her in time.
I mean, it goes back to what I was saying about concentration and having to think about it a lot. I think that in that moment, too much adrenaline maybe is going through, or it's just one of those things. It's people forget all the time what they've learned in stressful situations. So a fire's burning down your house. You've been taught to stop, drop, and roll, but instead you run through the fire and you forget your anything that you learned. It's because it's the adrenaline pumping through you. So,
Okay.
she has a gun held up to her chin, and it's probably just was one of those things where it's like, I don't know what to do because this is not supposed to happen. I'm a judge,
True.
or a trainee, rookie.
Yeah, it's training rookie, whatever. Also, what'd you guys think of like the? Because I thought it was really kind of well played. Of like not like well the villains. I think the villain was kind of well played, but the guy who they were had the entire time. I thought he was a pretty good like mini villain right there.
Yeah, he was a good underling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like saying like how what his men would do to her, and trying to get into her head. Because like well, since she knows she's a psychic. But trying to get in her head, trying to distract her so she won't see someone coming. Basically, all that good stuff.
Anything else anyone wants to say about Dredd?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, we're going to go over our final thoughts and review scores for the film. I'll go first, since it is, of course, my pick today. Dredd. I have to say that I wasn't as impressed with the movie the second time watching it, or well, I guess it would be more than second time. But now watching it now, really haven't seen it since 2012. But I watched it a bunch in 2012 because I thought it was so good. But watching it back now, I do see a few problems with it. I do agree with Nick that there's a lot of action scenes that seem a little bit slower than what I remember, but I think that the action as a whole is really well done. The set design, the costumes, everything like that is top tier. I think they do a good job of establishing Judge Dredd in this movie, and I think that Keith Urban does a great job as a stern judge. Another pitfall of the movie was what did I say? I think that it needed. I forgot what I was going to say. That's all right. All in all, though, I think that it's a fairly good action movie. The one I was going to say about the one-liners. The one-liners were kind of was like head scratching to me this time around, and I'd probably give this one like a 4 out of 5.
All right, I'll go next. I thought this movie was visually a pleasing, and I thought visually it was great. And yeah, they put a lot of work into it. And if you're gonna have those slow mo scenes, like Yemmy said, and you better put your time into it, and they really did. But I have a little issues of the storyline. I mean, yeah, this could be nitpicking it, but well, why did the clan form? Well, because a judge never comes here. It's the tallest building in freaking where they live, and the judge never comes there. So, I mean, that kind of got me scratching my head. I mean, I didn't mind the, one-liners. I chuckled here and there. But the machine gun scene, I thought it was cool. But, as I said before, I felt like they were running, like, a marathon. The skate park scene, it was just a little, the scenes that, they had to fill in that, they could have done better in. But all in all, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was one of those movies where I don't have to watch it for another few years. That being said, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. I guess I'm up. Overall, I mean, it was a typical action movie. It was fun to watch a little bit. There's some things that I don't think aged very well. Some of their themes and ideas, which I won't get into. Overall, though, I enjoyed it enough. I'd give it a 3 out of 5.
And overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Even though there was like some scenes with CGI, like an example, the blood could have been done a little more in detail because it kind of was cartoonish, like Yemmy said.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you said like cartoonish blood.
No, I was giving you an example of what would make the movie less serious.
Oh, that's true. Well, I don't know, the blood kind of looked real, not that well compared for me. I love this, but anyway, I love the slow mo scenes. I love I really like the action, but some of the things were not as good, not as good. Like the ending was a little like and some of the scenes were a little dragged on. So overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Which also
Coco,
means
how
I
many
want that.
how many times did you watch a movie, Coco?
Twice.
Twice.
I watched it twice because I don't know, I had it and just felt bored.
That's okay. Get a second opinion on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes on like I said, sometimes on a second, third watching, it's you don't like it as much. Still a good movie though.
I agree.
All right, I believe Greedy Waffles has a film recommendation. What you got?
Okay, so this movie recommendation is actually kind of from Yemmy. I remember him recommending it to me, and at the time I watched it, the year it came out, I was just kind of like, not so into it, but I want to give it another chance. So the movie I am recommending is from 2013, and it is Snowpiercer. So, what's the movie about? In the future where a failed climate change experiment has killed all life except for those aboard the Snowpiercer, a train that travels around the globe. In this train, a new class system emerges. This train, a few years later, set in 2031, where the entire world is frozen except those aboard the Snowpiercer. So, it's a non-stop running train that is set in 2031, and those on the train are the only ones left alive those on the train are the only ones left alive. So the director is Bong Joon-ho.
Bong
And the-
Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho. That's what I thought it was, but I took the other route. The writers were Jackie Slob, and some of the stars are Chris Evans, Jamie Bell, Tilda Swinton, and that's Ed Harris, John Hurt, and Octavia Spencer are pretty much the main characters of this movie. I mean, there's a lot of people in this movie because there's it's a train full of people. So there's a lot of people. I'm not going to list them all, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I've seen it before. I remember enjoying it. So
Yeah,
Never seen.
I'm really interested to watch this movie after watching Parasite, which is the Oscar Best Picture from last year. Same director, Bong Joon-ho. So it's gonna be cool to go back and see some of his older work.
And the only downside of this movie is 2 hours and 6 minutes. So we'll say an hour and 45. With credits and all that, but so it's a little lengthy, but.
I mean, I don't call 2 hours lengthy. I call 3 hours or 2.5 lengthy.
yeah,
Two's not too bad, especially if it's if it's fast moving and stuff is happening.
and I do remember this movie being more fast paced and things happening a lot. So it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, it's no Irishman that's 3.5 hours long.
As I said, I remember Yemmy recommending this movie when I was a young kid, 2013, and I was just like, and so I saw it on Netflix the other day, and I was like, oh, I should put that down as in my list of recommendations, and I just chose it, and I was like, oh, why not?
Do it.
Pretty good. All right.
So, yep.
So, if you don't want to be spoiled for Snowpiercer from 2013, make sure you watch it. Or if you want to join the conversation, rewatch it. Or listen to the next episode, doesn't matter. Snowpiercer. Where can you watch it? Of course, Nick already said Netflix. But you can also watch it on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, PlayStation, and Microsoft Store, aka Xbox.
But if you have Netflix, watch it on Netflix because you already paid for it. So
There you go.
it's free on Netflix.
That's where I'll be watching it.
Yep.
Free.
Same.
All right. Chris Evans.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Hunk of the day. No.
Jamie Bell? Anyone? No? Alright.
All right, so we'll reconvene in 2 weeks to talk about that movie, of course. Like I said, if you don't want to be spoiled for it or if you want to join the conversation, you can always leave your comments down below after watching the movie yourself and let us know what you thought about the movie. thank you once again to everyone who has been listening or watching this episode of Film Freaks. We really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoyed. And, of course, the ending of the podcast. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with...
Grady Waffle.
Animation.
Kogo Gamer.
And we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Judgment time.